And the Oscar goes to Alan Arkin in Little Miss Sunshine.
I know you're not supposed to read, but I would be totally incoherent if I didn't. More than anything, I am deeply moved by the open-hearted appreciation our small film has received, which in these fragmented times speaks so openly of the possibility of innocence, growth, and connection. I'd like to thank the Academy, Fox Searchlight, my wife Suzanne, my sons Adam, Matthew, and Tony for their endless support, my representation, Estelle, Lee, Frank, and Melody, and for the great teachers I've had throughout my life, both in and out of the profession. Thank you very much.
Nobody asked you, old boy.
Howdy, everybody. What's going on? How you living? You living okay? That's my best Alan Arkin impersonation.
Somebody needs a hug.
Whoa, holy cow! First of all, how you doing? Nice to see you again. Glad you can make it back. Welcome back to Nobody Asked But. I am your host, Hart Bryant, and today, guys, I want to talk about an actor, brilliant guy. I feel like he would be the best grandpa, happy and fun, and if he's serious, he still has this persona of just being awesome. Yay! I wanted to talk about Alan Arkin. We lost him on June 29th at the age of 89. Nobody asked me, but I think Alan Arkin should get some love. It hit me hard. I wasn't expecting it, but it really did shake me up a little bit. I know there's always those people out there, how can you have a connection when you didn't even know them? It's kind of like, why do you have a connection to a song? And I feel like that's with other people. There's certain people that you're drawn to or connected to that you like, man, like George Clooney. I feel like if I knew George Clooney, we'd be best friends. He seems like a nice guy. They just seem cool. And Alan Arkin was one of those guys. And so today I wanted to talk about 3 movies that I think would be awesome for y'all to check out that feature the brilliance that was Alan Arkin. First one, Glengarry Glen Ross, which is an intense drama. And then we have Little Miss Sunshine. And then one that I want to keep it on a hush-hush. So let's get into it, yeah? Yeah. If you like what you're watching, hit the like button. If you also like what you're liking, share it, and then share it, and then share it again. Okay, let's get, ooh, oh. Born March 26, 1934 in Brooklyn born. Arkin would go on to direct for a little bit, but really he found his stride in acting.
No buts. No, this is an island with no buts.
He got recognized in The Russians Are Coming, film that was a Cold War comedy. Starred Mr. Arkin as a Russian who was marooned on an island. And it looks pretty funny. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't been able to find it. I mean, I found it, but you know, hey man, it's hard out here these days. I had to get groceries, you know. Daddy needs baby carrots.
What?
Landed him a nomination for a Golden Globe, which is, I think, pretty brilliant. But it also put him in like a niche for accents, but it wasn't a bad thing. It actually helped Mr. Arkin develop his career.
We wish only to inquire where to find motor power boat for private use for some brief little time. You understand, sir?
Glengarry Glen Ross, which is a great real estate movie, but it's just filled with great dialogue. And Alan Arkin is in there as George Aronow.
What is that? I can't push through.
Who is completely different than any of the other characters, male characters in this movie. He's very timid. He has a lot of insecurities in the sense of his position.
Sometimes just think, you know, I wonder if I belong in this business. Then I say, nobody can close.
Because most of the male characters are all machismo, they're braggadocious, they're loud, they cuss.
The machine! The machine! Hey, let me buy you a pack of gum. I'll show you how to chew it. Ooh.
You're a f***ing secretary. F*** you.
You think this is abuse, you
Can't take this. How can you take the abuse you get on a set?
You don't like it? Leave.
I can go out there tonight. The materials you got make myself $15,000.
A New York Times article by Jason Bailey describes Arkin's performance, I think, brilliantly in the sense the sensitivity is what separates Arkin's character and his performance from the varying displays of roaring machismo in Glengarry Glen Ross. It's not much of a huge role for Arkin, but it's unique in its character. And also the movie itself is unique because it's just somewhat of a noir classic. You know, the director and cinematographer, Juan Ruiz Anquia, cinematographer, great in the sense of bathing the characters in light, whether it be blue to start the mood, with the jazz. It has hints of like Cowboy Bebop feeling to it. It is set in New York, so it has that jazz influence.
2306.
Oh my God, the dialogue in this movie is just as fast as it is with real estate. I'm sure you have to really pay attention to these guys or else they'll sell you land that you'll be paying for when after you're dead.
Gift away.
Look, I don't want to buy land. I don't want to invest in land. I have nothing.
So the dialogue is very quick, it's very quippy, along with a lot of F-bombs, man. This is not for the kids, okay? So that being said, Glengarry Glen Ross is in itself a fantastic film starring the late Alan Arkin. Always be closing. Glengarry Glen Ross, okay? Check it out. Next up on the chopping block.
What's that, chicken? Every night is the f***ing chicken. Holy God almighty. Is it possible just once we could get something to eat for dinner around here that's not the goddamn f***ing chicken?
Hey, Dad.
I'm just saying.
Dad!
Little Miss Sunshine. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Little Miss Sunshine. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful movie. Like, I would recommend this movie if somebody was sad or they needed some inspiration. Tell them to go watch Little Miss Sunshine. And so we have Olive, who's the daughter, the youngest of the Hoover family, who is participating in this. So we follow them as they cross the United States to get to the Little Miss Sunshine competition, which is basically a beauty pageant.
Now she has a place in the state contest in Redondo Beach. We want to make sure she has a call.
If I were to paint this film, it would be in yellow, because there's just so much happiness involved in this film from each character, even though it's very sad. There's a lot of sadness within the movie, but that sadness is something that you can relate to in a way.
Christ, he's not getting it.
We've all had dreams crushed, we've all had misfires, and we all have dysfunctional families. I don't think anybody has a family that they can say is normal.
Richard.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, you try to do something on your own, which is more than most people ever do. And I include myself in that category.
And so it's a beautiful film in which you need to learn how to love yourself. And it's also a beautiful film in which you learn to never settle for just yourself, because there's always opportunities for growth. In this movie, Alan Arkin, Mr. Arkin, plays the grandpa, who is just awesome. He is blunt yet lovable. He is Olive's dance instructor, and the awesome thing is you don't see the dance until the end of the film. It's a happy moment and it brings tears to your eyes. And I love that. Don't you love it when you're happy to the point where you're crying? There's a scene in Lego Batman when Robin like walks into the Batcave.
It's the Batcave!
And he's just overwhelmed with so much joy that he starts crying.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Like, I've had moments like that. Honest to God. And they are the best. And so we get that. And it's written by Michael Arndt. It's an original screenplay, and it won an Academy Award for original screenplay. But icing on the cake is our boy, Mr. Arkin, won Best Supporting Actor for his portrayal as Grandpa Hoover.
So my main sense of gratitude goes to the entire cast and crew and production team of Little Miss Sunshine for creating the same sense of joy and trust and community that the film speaks about.
And so that in itself is something that is a long in the making process and achievement. Now he got other awards up to this point, but I mean, that's something that still is just tremendous.
Okay, now who do you want me to play?
Can you do, how's your group?
No.
Drum roll, please. If it wasn't for my son watching it for like the let's say the 35th time in a row, not in a row, but like maybe in a consecutive week, I noticed that Mr. Arkin was voice acting one of my favorite characters from this movie. If you're that out there, or if you're just anyone interested and love the Despicable Me movies, watch Minions Rise of Gru, it's great. And you have Alan Arkin voicing my favorite character from it, Wild Knuckles. Wild Knuckles, the founding member of the Vicious Six. I saved this movie for last because I'm gonna go in depth with it. We get the young Gru, and unfortunately he didn't have a father. We don't know where his father is, but we see that his mom doesn't give him that much attention. He doesn't get a lot of attention practically from any adult in the whole movie. Even the Vicious Six, they even kick him to the side.
You seriously think a puny little child can be a villain?
And this fact of not believing in him. And so you see this young boy who's just going through life being told that, you know, you can't, you won't. And the only people who believe in him are these little yellow dudes. Love him to death.
Blah, blah, blah.
And those are the only creatures that interact with him in a sense of caring. You know, when they climb into bed with him, you know, he can't sleep.
No le tipo todo para tú. Mayo la nasi goreng. Ketchup manis.
So when we finally get him with Wild Knuckles, and turns out Wild Knuckles needs him, he recognizes how special Gru is. And this is the first adult that we see interacting with Gru, showing him care, showing him attention.
Start with the pool. This place has got to be spick and span.
Giving him compliments.
Moxie, kid. Stealing from the Vicious Six?
I got Moxie, really? Did I just receive a compliment from Wild Knuckles?
Spending time with him, he becomes a father figure. You know, I love when he's like teaching him how to feed the crocodile.
Let me show you how it's done. Betsy, knock it off!
And even Wild Knuckles gets his butt caught up in it.
Wow! Help! Oh no!
Not!
And Gru saves him, and he's like, you could have left me. And he's like, dude, I look up to you.
Told you, you are my favorite villain in the world. I could not let you get eaten by crocodiles.
There's a moment like this. There's movies out there, I'm telling you, there's movies out there that if you really watch them, there's great meaning within them. Mr. Arkin portraying this character of a father figure, okay? And so it shows me like he really loved to have fun. He really enjoyed his job. Hysterically done.
What a mouth on you!
But underneath it all, he chose this character. Not only was it fun, but it's someone who is important to this hero's journey.
So you want to be a great villain, huh?
That's all I ever wanted.
You want, I don't know, you want me to teach you a thing or two?
You get what I'm saying? I mean, he even tells him at the end of it, shoot for the moon, kids, shoot for the moon. And Despicable Me, what is Gru's first mission? You tell me. Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, Little Miss Sunshine, Minions: The Rise of Gru. All three are great movies. The only one I would recommend you to watch with the kids is definitely Minions: Rise of Gru. Even Little Miss Sunshine, there's F-bombs out of nowhere. Alan goes off on that one. Mr. Arkin, excuse me, goes off on that one. Check him out, guys. Again, Mr. Arkin, thank you for your work. Just kind of went with the wind, and I want to bring him back to kind of give him some kudos, some love. If you guys love what you see with those three movies, go ahead and check out his catalog. Just Google it, Alan Arkin filmography. The man was brilliant. I'll catch you guys on the next video. If you like what you are watching, share it. I'm sure there's a lot of Alan Arkin fans out there who would love to watch a video about the man. So I'll catch you guys in the next video, and I'll see you then.
Do you like a pretzel?
I'm good. I had a few before you got here.
You did?
I did.
I thought there were a few less.
I thought I asked you, bold boy.